Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Abe with Mystic Gen Mara. And I am just really boomering it tonight, so I do apologize for not paying attention to what I have set up. I was working on the script and making notes and totally spaced to do the rest of my setup. I got like the background and the videos, and that was as far as my brain went. So, I do apologize for that. Anyway, we'll hop right on in here. This one is going to probably be one of the, longer ones, 40 minutes to an hour, something along those lines. And I'm not sure why my light is being weird. There we go. Oh, that's a little dark. It's alright. We'll make it work. Get all my chat windows brought up here. So, this is a discussion that I've had a few times with friends, and I love conspiracy theories, so this one's going to be part spiritual, part conspiracy theory, but this is going to be a scratch the surface type of a thing. My goal is over time to take some of the subjects that we've started on here so far and take deeper dives into them, and this is one that could most definitely involve a significantly deeper dive to the point where it may become like a monthly live stream type of a thing, just because there's so much there. And that is the concept of your Galactic Council, which is a spiritual term, your contact with alien life forms, and outside or otherworldly guides is the other term I like to use. So, when we think of Roswell, Area 51, Lockheed Skunk Works, the moon landing, UFOs, X-Files, what's your first thoughts when you think about them? Conspiracy theories, kooks, people who are government secrets, there's a lot that you could put in there. But all of these things tie together in the belief that there is something out in space. My personal interest in this area, I get my notes. I am really not doing great tonight. Anyway, my personal interest in this subject goes back to my teens. I was obsessed with ancient aliens after one episode. I really fell in love with the old Twilight Zones, because when you watch a lot of them, and I have the entire set, so I've seen them all, of the original Rod Sterling ones back in the day, when you go through them, it's like every fifth one has something to do with either traveling in space or an alien encounter on Earth. Some of them are funny, some of them are twisted, but these were made in the 50s, mind you. And so when you watch them now, and then compare it to what some of the things that are starting to be revealed thanks to disclosures and overall government starting to release their secrets, it makes you wonder just how much those shows back in the 50s might have been onto something. But in Ancient Aliens, we'll start with that one because that's where I got started. The hosts propose a lot of theories that answer questions that I've always had. The purpose of the pyramids, what happened at Machu Picchu, why was it deserted, why is it kind of lost in history but refound now, the Mayans, etc. And I discovered that there's more places than I originally knew of, structures that cannot be created with technology that we even have today, but were built with supposedly simple levers and pulleys using copper saws and sand. Come on. Basic knowledge of any form of construction or physics is going to tell you that that entire theory is BS. They can't do it now when we have way better technology than they supposedly had back then. But through all of this, I have found authors like Eric von Daniken, highly recommend him. Zachariah Stitchin, I was actually turned on to him, and they're like, well, if you like sci-fi fantasy, you should read his stuff. And what's funny with Stitchin is they want to classify it as fiction, but there's a lot of truth in it, and when you start to compare it to what they're finding out more and more about the ancient Sumerian texts, Zechariah was onto something there, and I'm not saying that he's 100% accurate, but it's definitely worth looking into his work, and I have linked a couple of books in the description below. Another person that I found interesting and kind of fascinating is Ancient Aliens host, I never can say his name, Georgios Tsoukalos. And he's the one that always has the fuzzy hair on the memes, and he's like, aliens! That's him. David Wilcock, when he's not being... I followed David for a lot of years, and I really do enjoy a lot of his work. His older work, I should say. Let me preface this. He's had some issues here lately, and it's weird to watch because it's almost like watching one of your heroes crash. And he might recover from it. It might be just a phase he's going through to, I don't know, drum up some support. But for the last 8 months to a year, we almost never hear from him, the people who follow him. And when we do, the videos and the messages coming out are really random. So his older stuff is really good. Check that out. Check out his research he did with Corey Goode. There's some people today saying that they've made everything up. I have some theories on that too, but we won't get into that. But the other one that I really, truly appreciate what he's doing, because he's looking at it from a scientific standpoint, is Dr. Stephen Greer. So they all have various theories and beliefs about other visitors to our planet. Daniken Sitchin, I always call it Stitchin, it's actually Sitchin, and Tsoukalos are pretty convinced that they visited us and guided us in the past. The others are convinced, when I say others, it's David Wilcock, Stephen Greer, and Corey Goode, are convinced that they've never stopped coming in. Something to think about. My belief, this is my personal opinion, and I'm going to note my opinions through here because there is some history, but I'm also going to tell you what I think, is that we've been visited in the past, but the visitations never stopped. They just became more secret because of governmental influence, is basically how I think it happened. But there are references to otherworldly visitors even within the Christian Bible. Controversial, hugely controversial, and when you bring it up, just be aware you're going to have a fight on your hands. But it's in there. Ezekiel chapter 1 talks about visitors that arrived to show him their chariots. Well, they were spacecraft. There were 2 books written about this by skeptics, independently of each other in the 70s. And when I say independently, they weren't even on the same continent. They had no contact with each other. They were reading the book as a blueprint, and so one of them used the description of the temple that was described in Ezekiel and built a landing site. It actually looks, I don't have pictures of it because they're getting harder to find, but he actually developed what looks like a landing site for what, who knows, but it was based exactly on the information in Ezekiel, and he scaled it down so it could fit on a table, basically. The other book wrote about the chariot, and later designers have used these descriptions and built models of the chariot, and weirdly enough, the model of the chariot based strictly on the chapters about the chariot literally fit within the landing pad of the temple. It's really weird when you start looking into some of that, and some of that was in the Ancient Aliens stuff, but then I also dug a little deeper, and I'm looking for the books because they each wrote a book about it. People have ignored them for years, but they are super interesting people because they're skeptics. They think that this stuff is complete garbage. But then they looked even in the Christian Bible. They're like, fine, we'll prove it to you guys that what he was doing was hallucinating. Well, that was a very accurate hallucination. So there's something more going on here in the world. In the Sumerian myths, and I love Sumeria, so you may hear me reference that frequently, there are references to those from the sky came, I think is how it's phrased, which is the Anunnaki. And the king's list shows that the individual kings/gods would rule for more than 1,000 years. There are some references that the longest lived king god of the Anunnaki on the Sumerian texts were over 24,000 years old. That's just one king, and there's like 2,500 of them on this scroll. It's ridiculous. In the Hindu myths and legends, the gods, quote unquote, were thought to be from outer space, which kind of ties into the Sumerian concept of what they believe the Anunnaki were. You have the deities in Hinduism of Kali, Shakti, Shiva, down the long list, were seen to fly in vimanas, which were floating cities. When you look at the pictures and the paintings, you start to wonder if that's not a spaceship. Using weapons and technology that baffled the humans at the time, although today the theories behind such weaponry exist, and there is a strong possibility that the weapons used by the ancient Hindu deities were actually nuclear advanced. So it's what we have now, but more advanced than that. And mind you, this was 4,000 years ago, give or take a century or two. The Egyptian gods, Isis, Set, Horus, etc., all had blue or green skin, also symbols of the Anunnaki or otherworldly visitors. They lived for extremely long times and had abilities that were not fully human. One of the other things that makes the Egyptian and the Hindu gods unique, when you look at some of what the deities were, there were certain deities that had animal-like features. Kind of similar to a lot of the stuff you hear about current encounters with the others with aliens today. So there's a long history of this. This is not a new thing. It's not just because of Roswell. This has been documented in some way, shape, or form back thousands of years. These are a few, and I mean a few. This rabbit hole, it goes ridiculously deep. But this is a few of the examples in the historical record that could be pointing to aliens or other visitors. Now, skipping forward through time, there are thousands of anecdotal stories about seeing craft, finding evidence of those crafts, having physical contacts, not so much alien abductions, but more of close encounters of the third kind type contact. These contacts were sorted into several categories. I'm going to go over the basic 5. There's really 7, but the last 2 are well beyond where I'm going to go with this particular discussion. We might delve into those a little deeper at a later date. Excuse me, I am having the yawns again. But that's why we have tea. So the gentleman who created this original list was J. Allen Hynek. He made 3 types of original encounters, and others have added to his list. Close encounters of the first kind are a sighting of a UFO or a craft that is not known to the person observing it. So even if you had a modern day air fighter jet and it flew over 1840s New York, that would be a UFO. We know what it is. They didn't. It's unidentified flying object. Close encounters of the second kind are when the evidence is left behind. And this is where we get the crop circles all over England and across the Midwest in the United States. And from what I understand, there's actually crop circles that pop up all over the world. They're just not talked about. Damaged animals. And there are, I will not even go into what I've seen there because there's some pretty graphic depictions. Spontaneous ground radiation, where the ground's has no radiation the day before. You come out the next day and there's scorch marks and the ground is highly radioactive. Overnight, just for no reason, the ground decided it was going to radiate itself. Come on. And then there's burned out brushes in the area where that radiation was observed or where the object may have been seen. Close encounters, and I'm going to borrow their vernacular, which is the CE, close encounters. Of the third kind is the UFO or object is showing that there are sentient beings within it. There are I just lost the name and I didn't write it down because I was being dumb. The first time I heard about this particular one I'm referencing was actually on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, but it was a couple from the 50s or 60s who actually saw and then had an abduction experience with extraterrestrial encounter of some form. And they had some books written about them. They were probably one of the more documented ones of their time. And they were demonized because of this. And they really were just trying to figure out what happened, because after the event, both of them had some really weird health issues that showed up. They had weird marks on their bodies, like they'd been through a medical examination, and things like that. And it's like Bob and Betty or something like that. But it was an interesting event that happened to them. But that's the third kind. The reason I mentioned that was with the CE of a third kind is they were able to witness physically that there were beings inside the saucer or the ship that came and got them. And so that's the third kind, is when you can actually see that there's something conscious within this contact. CE4 is the one that's used in the most videos to scare people. It's the abduction where the human is taken against their will into a craft or held somewhere by this creature and experimented on. There's movies, The Fourth Kind with Mila Jovanovic. I love the movie. It's scary. Well, it's psychologically scary. But there's others out there. Almost all of your human abduction scenarios are CE4 horror films. And my personal thoughts on that are, I feel like that's being done on purpose to scare us so that we can trigger some kind of a conspiracy theory here. War along the lines like an interstellar war. Come on. If they can travel through space and time faster than we can, I don't think we have much of a chance. Just saying. But then we move into the CE5. And this is where contact is mutually agreed upon and the communication is established at that point. And this is kind of what I was going with this particular discussion today. I personally have tried two different ways of making contact with this. One is something I learned from my most recent intuitive teacher, and the other is from Dr. Stephen Greer. Both are pretty similar in nature. Dr. Greer's takes significantly longer to practice, and the one I learned from my intuitive teacher requires an ability to meditate and bring yourself into a higher state of consciousness. Basically, you still need to you need to be able to set aside approximately an hour. If you really want to hit it as hard as you can, you set an evening, 3 to 4 hours, especially if you're working with Stephen Greer's practice. And I am linking Stephen Greer's practice in the description of this video. It's definitely worth looking into. My meditation is kind of a mix of a couple of different forms, the one that I use more frequently. But for the sake of time, I am not going to go through his entire class. I'm not going to go into the entirety of what he does. I might skip over or run through it real quick, but the overall plan for him, there's about 14 steps, and they literally will take you an hour at least. And from my experience, if you really want to have something more than just a superficial glance at it, you're going to need to set aside significant periods of time. And they actually have retreats you can go to in the summertime that you can make these contacts on your own. So if it's something you're interested in, like I said, it's all linked in the description. The other thing I'm not going to go over in this particular video is the different entity classes you might meet, the more common ones. I'm going to work with the concept of communication. If you practice this several times, the meditation that I'm going to try to lead tonight, if you practice this several times in a week, you can just keep practicing 3 or 4 times a week, you're going to increase your channel for communication. you might find that after a session or two you might see something, because that's where Stephen Greer's work is he wants to get more physical proof, not just have meditational experiences. There's no guarantee with this kind of work because it all depends on if they're willing to talk to you, what your situation is. My phone's going off. I have it on silent and it gives me these weird alerts every so often. There have been reported instances and videos and pictures taken of people getting physical communications when you're working with like the Stephen Greer path. And they can reveal themselves in a form or shape. Sometimes it's actually a physical manifestation of a being. It's kind of cool when you look at some of the videos. If you're not ready to do that, you can just skip the meditation at the end. It's not like I'm not pushing this. I'm just bringing this up for information. And it's something you can experiment and play with if it's something you're interested in. Obviously, you want to make sure to take proper protections with any of this type of work that you're doing. It's just a thing that I've always done, is you don't want to accidentally open a door you can't close. So with the meditation that I was going to discuss with this is just mainly to allow you to start the communication process if you're interested. If you're not, that's fine. We're going to take a little bit of time and quiet down, really bring yourself inside, and work to clear out and build your energy field, which takes a little bit of time, but with focus you can do it. And then we're going to send out a light beacon similar to what Stephen Greer talks about, with the intention of making positive communication contact with highest vibration that we can reach at this point, and then waiting quietly to see if anyone answers back. So, if you are into something like this, grab a piece of paper so that you can journal in anything that comes through at the end of it. Let's see. This is probably going to take 15 minutes or so for the meditation part. So, if you are still here and you want to go through this part, just sit back and get comfortable. You really want to make sure that you're comfortable. If you get chilly, especially where we're at in the north right now, this is being filmed in December, so it could be a little chilly out. Grab a blanket and cover at least your legs and feet so that you can stay warm and not get distracted by your feet being cold or your hands being cold or however. And you want to sit comfortably, no matter if you want to sit back or lay down, recline, however you want to do that. I am sorry, I'm not sure what my problem is tonight. Anyway, so you want to lay your hands palm down on your thighs, or if you have a specific hand sign, a mudra that you want to do, go ahead and use that. But once you get ready, just settle in and close your eyes. Start to breathe deeply in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you breathe in, allow your belly to expand outwards. And as you exhale, allow your belly to fall back towards your spine, breathing out through your mouth. Long, slow breaths in, and even breaths out. Feel your body relax. Inhale, bringing your attention to the top of your head. Exhale and feel the muscles around your head and scalp relax. Breathing slowly in and out. Feel waves of relaxation move down your face and neck, relaxing any tension from the day away. Inhale And on the exhale, feel the relaxing flow of energy down across your shoulders, feeling them drop and the muscles relax. Waves of calm flowing energy flows down through your arms and out through your hands, releasing anything that does not serve you in this moment. Continue breathing very slowly and very deeply, sensing the muscles in your back and chest release all tension. Waves of flowing energy wash down through your lower back and abdomen on your next exhale. Inhale through your nostrils and exhale. See the energy flowing down like water, washing away the tension, flowing down through your glutes and legs and relaxing your calves. Take another deep breath in and exhale. See or sense all tension flowing out through your feet. As you breathe in, scan your body from your feet to your head. Exhale, bringing soothing, relaxing energy down through your head to your feet, releasing any tension that you may still have. Allow your breathing to stay slow and deep, filling your belly with oxygen every time you inhale. And as you exhale, breathing out through your mouth, allowing your body to relax. Bring your awareness to your heart chakra area, right in the middle of your chest. Ask God, Source, Divine Energy, however you see the divine, to aid you in elevating your energy. As you inhale, bring in pure white, shining light. Exhale and feel that light anchor into your heart. Inhale, bringing in more of that beautiful, reflective, bright white light. And exhale, feeling it condense and anchor deeper into your body. Breathing in that beautiful light of creation. And exhale, allowing that creational energy to build and start to radiate out from your heart. Continue to breathe in beautiful white light. And as you exhale, allow it to anchor and form within. As you breathe in and out, breathing in that beautiful white light, it radiates out from your heart, filling your entire aura. Breathing this beautiful light into your body, into your auric field, and exhaling, feeling that loving energy surround and engulf you. Continue to breathe in this beautiful white light. Exhale, feel this healing, happy energy radiate out from your heart, releasing any and all guilt, all regret, and all negative energy. Breathing in, bringing in more and more white light, feeling it radiate all around you, building a charged bubble of healing, high vibrational energy as you exhale. Continue breathing slowly and deeply, feeling that beautiful and white light energy flowing in and swirling around your body. Bring your attention to the crown of your head. Feel fully all of your attention, bringing it to the crown chakra area, the very tippy top of your head. Call up an energy beam from your heart, this concentrated white light energy. Feel this beam of energy flow up from your heart, through your throat chakra, through your third eye, and out through your crown. Feel this beam of white light flowing up and out. And as this beam travels up from your heart, through your crown, all of your upper out-of-body chakras, you're sending this intention out to meet your soul-aligned galactic messenger or guide along this beam of light. Visualize this beam and your intention going out into the universe. Continue to breathe slowly and deeply, bringing in the light into your heart chakra, allowing this intention and invitation to radiate out into the universe, holding the light bubble around you, breathing deeply and slowly. Allow yourself any message or contact sensation that you may come. Continue to deeply breathe in and out, bringing in white light every time you inhale. Feeling safe and loved, allow the message to come through. Now is the time to thank your galactic guide or messenger. Begin calling back the energy beam to the center of your heart, calling that beam down through your upper out-of-body chakras, feeling that beautiful white light beam draw down through your crown, bringing it down through your third eye and your throat chakra, deep down into your heart, allowing this beautiful white light energy to rest in your heart. Allow yourself to rest and bask in this pure white energy bubble. Breathing deeply, relaxed in this safe healing space. Begin to bring your awareness back to your body. Feel your belly expand as you inhale through your nostrils, and gently contract as you exhale out your mouth. Breathe in and bring your awareness back into your body. Exhale, feel your muscles underneath your skin and the bones underneath your muscles. Breathing in, coming back into your conscious awareness, the awakened state. Exhale, and allow your fingers and your toes to move and wiggle, getting the blood flowing back into your body. Breathe in and come more into the conscious awareness. Exhale, move your arms and legs, waking your body back up and reconnecting your mind and body. Take another deep breath in, And on the exhale, if you're ready and you're back, you may open your eyes. And if you had any experiences, you want to make sure to journal those now while they're still fresh in your mind. Be gentle with yourself when you work with any of this type of deeper meditation. And if you decide to try out any of Stephen Greer's protocols for contact, you always want to remember to be gentle with yourself afterwards, because you'll be in a heightened awareness state. The other part with this is, even if you didn't have anything come through now or the next time or the time after that, stay aware of your environment. Notice the things up above you. You know, most of us are focused looking down at our phones or whatever. But take a couple of minutes in the evenings especially and look towards the sky. It's easier to notice the light movements in the daytime or at night than it is in the day. Just heads up. But be aware of what's around you. Pay attention to your dreams, because a lot of the times you can have really vivid dreams. You'll wake up from knowing that this was more than just a normal dream. It will be lucid in a way where you feel like you're making a connection, and you probably are. From my research and my experience, a lot of the initial contact is happening in a form of a telepathy, so it's mind to mind. And then as it progresses and we basically can accept the reality of it, then they start to appear in a more physical sense. And if you are really wanting to dedicate time to this, I would say practice daily. Set aside at least an hour every day. Some of the people like Dr. Greer and a few of the other ones will recommend doing it in the evenings, just about twilight, and give yourself that hour window of time. And not everything's going to be quick, so understand this may take time, and we'll all connect in unique, different, special ways that are unique to us, ways that are unique to our situation. And that's when you start getting into the different families and the different classes of beings that are known. And what I would, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comment section. What I would like to do one of these days, if this is something that interests you, is to go over the 4 to 7, depends on who you talk to, basic classes that the majority of people have some kind of a connection to. We'll just kind of do an overview of them. It'll still take probably an hour and a half, because there's a lot of information there. But if that's something that interests you, just let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this type of video, if you like the more spoken meditations, I'm not quite good up on how to add music yet, so I'm working on that. But right now, that's the kind that I do, is the guided meditations that are a spoken meditation. And if that's something you like, let me know in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. If this is the kind of stuff you think someone else might enjoy, you feel free to share. Other than that, I will probably be hopping off of here. Let me check real quick, make sure everything is working still, because you never know. I boomered last night really bad, and the Odyssey video I'm not sure what I did wrong, but it wouldn't upload. But it looks like I'm still streaming there, so that's cool. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if you have any suggestions or criticisms, I'm willing to listen to all of them as long as they're respectful. And with that, I will hop off of here and let you guys back to your evening and have a great day.